Good day, listeners. It's your man Dame DNYDC, host of the Two Mics Up podcast. And we are back again today with another tremendous episode. You know, Lisa and I mean, she's already smiling before I even get into it. This is how it's been before we even got started. And I feel the same way. I feel the same way about today's guest. I feel the same way about her energy, her career path, everything that she's doing, things that we've seen her past, present, and I can't wait to see what she's going to be doing for us in the future. And Lisa, I'm just going to be quiet because your smile right now is dominating the screen. So
Listen,
I'm going to pass to you, and I'm just going to let you go
listen,
ahead. You driving right now? I'm putting my seatbelt on. Go
listen.
ahead, sis. Go ahead.
Just saying, sometimes when you just proud, right, as a black woman, when you're just like not even so much starstruck, but just so full of pride,
Yes.
because and you see someone who's living and embodying and representing you on the
Yes.
television, and
Yes.
you see someone that looks like you, talks like you, as a black woman. That is where I'm at right now. I'm in total glorified mode, and I am so proud of our guest.
I
And
feel
because
you.
I do watch her, so I am like, it's not like I'm foreign. I don't know. Let me see who that is. No, 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 no. I'm
Right.
well aware. So
Well,
I'm just proud today. That's all.
I want our guest. I'm just gonna back and let our guest introduce herself because if our listeners don't know, they about to know today. Because like I said, I've been following. I'm a fan, but I'm gonna step back and Samantha, could you take a moment to introduce yourself and your amazing resume? Because I don't. It blew me away when I really sat back and looked at. Share some of your resume with our listeners today.
Some of my resume,
Yes.
acting credits, Queen Sugar, which Lisa and I were just talking about. I did a couple of episodes of Queen Sugar, and the fifth season is on now, season 5. So you'll see me in this upcoming season of Queen Sugar. A couple of feature films, Unhinged.
Yes.
There's a movie, Thriller with Russell Crowe.
Excellent
Great,
movie.
great movie.
Good,
Yeah, did you see it,
good
Dave? Did you
movie.
Yes.
see
Yes.
it?
Yes.
Yeah, I love those kind of movies. That's like my favorite genre. I love psychological thrillers.
Hmm.
That was a lot of fun. And there's a movie that just came out a couple months ago that's streaming, All My Life.
Oh.
Probably one of my newest. It's based on a true story. Really, it was a great script. And I play a nurse, like a nurse worker in this. It's about a guy with cancer, and he and his fiance, decide that they're going to go ahead and get married anyway, even though he's
Hmm.
facing death. Really uh, heart wrenching, but a great story about life and living and cherishing every moment that we have. So I'm proud of that. All My Life is streaming now, and Filthy Rich on Fox on Becoming a God in Central Florida
I love
on
that show too. That's a great
Showtime.
show.
Funny show,
Hmm.
yeah, that's fun.
Hmm.
Cheryl, I play Kirsten Dunst's coworker on that
Uh-huh.
show. That was a lot of fun, and I don't know. You guys have put me
I,
on the
I,
spot.
I, I
Bad
think what for me
mom.
because bad mind because
Good moms, yeah,
I don't think a
Tiger
lot of people.
Mom.
Yes, but I don't think a lot of people realize too. So you're also from New Orleans, and you were on the HBO hit series as well.
Treme, yes,
Yes.
there's a
I know
Treme
you're playing.
painting right here.
I'm playing. I'm like, girl, come on with the
Right, and because I think that's where I know
It's been a
that's where.
long time.
But you know what? For
But
me,
those are
that was my first. It
classics.
is, and that was my first introduction to you. And I think that's where a lot of people, like Lisa said, they don't necessarily follow you, but like I know her, but that's where I got my first introduction to you. And I just did not want to leave that out. Big Mama's House too, you were in as well. So this woman is like Lisa said, she's not only represents an, a huge woman of color on screen, but you also write and direct as well.
Ooh.
I did. I started 2018. I mean, I've been writing before that. I mean, I wrote my first treatment in 2012, and it's not funny actually because now there's been like 2 or 3 movies made based on this idea that I wrote in 2012 on a teacher. Yeah, so I'm like I need to do something with that. But in 2018, I decided to. I signed up for the 48-hour film fest. I thought, something that would 48 hours, you have to do it. You have 40 hours to write shoot and edit and get it in the can, a short film. And I
Wow.
thought, I've been trying to do a short for years. I'm just going to sign up for this because I feel like if you can do this in 48 hours, you can do this.
Right.
Um, but the key, and people don't know this, but I started that even though I knew I was going to sign up for it. So I started getting my team together probably a month or so, a couple months prior to the festival. That weekend of shooting, I identified who my DP was going to be, who was going to do my wardrobe, my script supervisor. I kind of got my crew together, and even my cast. I didn't know what genre I was going to pick because that's how the 48-hour works. You don't know what you're going to get until that Friday evening. All the filmmakers come, you show up at a studio, you pick a genre out of a hat.
Wow.
But what I did a month, see, it's all about preparation. It's all about preparation. I sat down with one of my writing partner friend, and I wrote every genre. Horror, I would do a modern day Amityville horror. If I got a Western, there's a bar up the street, I'm going to go hit that owner up, be like, can I shoot in your bar if I get a Western? So I pretty much brainstormed what I would do. And I said, if I get superhero, I was going to do a superhero story about a black girl Magic, about a girl named Magic, and she's the hero. So once I picked it for the festival, I already knew, okay, it was like, okay, Black Girl Magic is about a girl named Magic. Her superpower is her black girl magic. And so, that was a lot of fun. And it won an award. The Women in Film and Television awarded me with a lovely award. I have it hanging up here for excellence in showcasing the work of women in key roles on the screen and behind the camera.
Nice.
Girl Magic for writing and directing it. So I'm very proud of that little short.
See, this is why I'm proud.
And I did that, and the reason, I felt like, I've been an actress, a working actress for, I feel like many years, at least 15 years going on now. Between 15 and 20 years, I feel like I've been acting for a while. And I just felt like if I want to get, I wanted a lead role. I wanted a role that I could sink my teeth into. And so I felt like I could spend my life waiting to get cast, or I can just, try to create this for myself. And so that's what I did with the Black Girl Magic. And I have other ideas, other scripts, other treatments. I'm working on a script right now, a romantic comedy that's going to be a feature, and I'm going to write this and about a black female lead. So I started doing this kind of out of necessity for myself as an actress.
Well, isn't that where things lead, right? You keep the doors not open for you. You create the whole room, right? Because you got your own way, right? So what about directing? Have you ever directed anything, or would you like to get into directing?
Yeah, well, Black Girl Magic, the film that I wrote, I directed that also.
Oh, did you?
I wrote it, I starred in it, and I directed it. And I had a lot of people tell me, you want to be careful about directing and, acting in it, especially as a first-time director. But I think the key is the crew. If you've got a really great crew and people around you that know what they're doing, my first AD, first assistant director, the bomb, my cinematographer, the bomb, production designer, Pamela Davis Nolan, the bomb. She made sure that the sets, the props, everything was set, the colors. So when you have people who are competent around you, I think as a leader, when you're a director, you're the leader, but you just empower them. You surround yourself with people that know more than you, and then you let them do their jobs. And that's exactly what happened. And so we had no hiccups. I had a vision. I knew what I wanted. I pretty much knew, for each shot. There were times when, we were running out of light and I wanted a close up. I knew I needed a close up here of this moment of the little girl. My DP's like, we're running out of light. I can go switch the lenses. I got to go get it out the truck. It's going to take time. We're going to lose. I didn't care. I was like, I know I want that. We'll deal with the repercussions of that, of losing the light for the next location later. But so, yeah, it's funny because in my real life, I'm pretty indecisive. But when I was a director on set with my film, I was very decisive. I knew what I wanted. And I was almost like, who is this girl? Who is that? It was Samantha, the director.
Right.
And also I have a business here in New Orleans, Tape My Audition NOLA, a professional audition taping business. I don't really promote that. But I've been doing that since 2015. And so I tape actors, and I look at that as directing also. It's like, especially with COVID, there's no more live auditions. Everything is on tape. So I tape actors, and when you tape and I edit, you can really tell a story. The power in film is in the edit, in the directing, I think, because you can really affect a story and how it's cut.
Right.
So
I well, Dame, I think we lost Dame.
okay, Boston. That's the technology. That's the world
Technology
we're living
for
in. This
sure. But
pandemic, Zoom, StreamYard life.
this is the whole life. This is the new us, right?
I
But
know,
I like that idea of
right?
because though you get to kind of mold and coach when you're doing that, like when you're doing that fashion of that business, like do you get to
Yeah.
mold coach like newcomers since you like got a little season, you 15 years in,
No,
how
yeah. I
now.
teach. I've done acting coaching. I taught at this wonderful acting school here in Louisiana, Launch Model and Talent. I taught there for about 7 years. I love coaching actors and just helping them find the truth and strong choices. I taught a class once called Making Bold Choices, because I
um,
think that was the name of the class. Because you get you get a scene, and you think about, they're going to see hundreds of actors, for this one role.
right,
Um, and so you have to figure out a way to be true to the material, but also stand out and be bold. And I think the way to do that is to be bold.
right,
Don't hold back. To not
right.
hold back. I think that's human nature. We tend to censor ourselves. We tend to hold back.
Mm-hmm.
But I have found in acting, when I don't hold back, when I go full on the crazy things, those are the auditions that I end up getting.
Okay. Because
Mm.
then now you feel like maybe when you like going in to act, for a script or a reading or and you're going for this audition and you're like, okay, don't give too much or don't do this. And then you kind of restrict your own talent, right? When you do things like that.
Yeah, let me tell you, there was one of my credits, one of my most fun shoots, a show called Eastbound and Down on HBO. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Kenny Powers,
Yep. Yep.
funny show. And that audition, I remember the audition sides, call it the sides, the scene. It said the character was Candy Cox. It said she comes out twerking to a Lil Kim song. So that's what the script read. So what did Samantha do? I started my audition like, and she's a tennis star going on a talk on a show. I started my audition like this, and then I started rapping the Lil Kim song.
No,
Uh-oh.
She's scared. Now I throw handle it like have a hunter, Jenny Jackson. Take it in the yeah. Well, I got land in Switzerland, even got land in the Marylands, Bahamas Spring. Baby, it's a big mama thing. Can't you tell by the diamonds in my ring? Oh, I did that. And I'm like, holla, can't. And I remember my sister was like, why did you do that? Like, I don't know. They didn't ask you to rap. And I'm like, that's just my choice. It was a bold choice. I took a chance. They could have looked at the tape and said, this girl is a lunatic. But I got the part. And when I got on set, Danny McBride was like, your audition tape, he was a star, but he was a producer. He said, your tape was hilarious. And I'm like, right, like, who else rapped the whole first verse of my favorite Lil Kim song? I'm probably dating myself, but that's all.
That's okay. It's okay.
and I'm mouthing it with you, so you
And I can't believe I actually did that on the show. I really do feel like we just sit at the living room. I can't believe it. I didn't cuss though. I did kind of.
right. That's good. That's an
Yeah, so
amazing
it's about
story.
making those bold choices. I stand by that.
That's an amazing story, though. Like that is hilarious, but it's also to show the audacity of it, right? That you hear and you're like, I'm going for it. You know what
What do you have to lose is what I say. The worst that can happen is that you don't get the part, but they'll remember you. They
They
might.
will remember
Mm.
you.
Yep. Okay.
That's funny. So the journey of writing, directing, starring in your own project. that just had to be incredible, right? Just doing
Oh,
all of that. And Black Girl Magic, that was, it feels almost like you did it all in that, right?
I
Because
did. I mean, I wrote it, I directed it, and I starred in it. And then I tried to get it into some film festivals after. It didn't get into film festivals. I applied to a few and it didn't make it, which was, I get it. I mean, I did it in 48 hours. I actually went back and did a director's cut. Um, and so it's like another longer version, like an 8-minute version. It's got like special effects.
Mhm.
Um, I'm really proud of that as well. I worked on that for like a whole other year, like the whole 2019, 2018, 2019. After we did it, I went back and cleaned some things up. And we even reshot the last scene, the final scene. We went and reshot it because we lost light in the 48 hour. I mean, it was 48 hours and literally we lost the light and it was getting dark. So I did a director's cut and I love directing. I see more of that in my future.
Mhm.
Um, I think, it's storytelling and I do think in film, the power is really in that in the directing, the cut,
Mm.
the editing. We have a saying in the industry: writers own the television medium. Like that's who's king in television. The writers. You look at producers. That's all the writers. Film director is king, and the stage theater actor is king because
Right.
kind of what stops with you. That's
Hmm.
how that's kind of how I look at it. So, as an actor, theater is probably the medium that you have the most power because once you're on that stage, what the director told you, what whoever told you, it's all on you.
Right.
Uh,
Well, in
you know,
in that though, you did just do that recently though, didn't you? Uh,
I did Harry
uh
and the Thief,
yes.
and
Hmm.
Harriet Tubman in January of right, January 2020, right before the pandemic. In fact, I'm convinced that COVID probably ran through our whole company because we were in rehearsal in December and everybody got sick. Like
Wow.
right before we all got sick. And I'd gone to Europe for Christmas that year. Went to Paris and London and came back and everybody got sick in the whole
Wow.
company. And then about like February, March, they're talking about COVID. So, but yeah, the stage is it's terrifying. It's liberating. It's liberating because every time I do it and when I step on the stage, I just feel so liberated and empowered. Like
Mm,
I'm an actor because I,
right.
I think all all stage actors can do film, but not all film actors can do theater.
Mm,
Yeah, that's interesting because you can do like cut, retake, right? When you're filming, but
Right.
in the theater, it's one and you're done, right?
done.
You
Yeah.
can't go backwards on a live play.
No, no, like you have to. I mean, I remember I was doing Raisin in the Sun years ago, which I won an award for, my Big Easy Award. Thank you, Camden.
Congratulations.
But we were doing a show one night, and the little kid that played the son, uh, Walter Lee and Ruth's son, Travis, he was backstage, and it was a Friday night show. I mean, I'm sure we all have work during the day. Everybody's got their day job. The kid was probably at school. He was tired. He was probably like 9 years old, 8, 9, and he fell asleep backstage and
Wow.
nobody was paying attention to him. The other actors, I guess.
Wow.
So we're on stage, and he was supposed to come in. He missed his cue because he was sleeping. So I'm like, and so I'm like improvising Lorraine Hansberry's words, like, where could that boy be? Because when the character doesn't look for him, he just kind of comes in, mama, mama, the mail. And he just never came. And I'm just me and the other actor on stage, Mama, who played the mama, we're just like, there's a lull, and on stage, you gotta, a lull can just seem like
A
it's
long eternity.
so I'm just like tidying up the little house on stage. I'm just like, and I'm like, but little Travis is gonna be in trouble. I don't know
Well,
where. And then here he comes, and I see him, lines on his face. He been asleep. I was like, I yanked his little behind. I think my line was something about give me that mail. Like I grabbed him for real and I looked at him and I gave him the look of like, don't you ever, whatever the lines was, I made it so like the subtext was, don't you ever do that again. Stay away. And then I yelled at the director. I was like, why was nobody watching him? Like,
Right, right.
make sure he knows his cue. But in theater, when you're out there, is nobody that can save the day, that can save you per se.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
I mean, maybe your lighting cue, they could put some sound. I mean, that's me, but ultimately, it's all up the actor. It's with you.
So, changing gears to that point, we briefly touched on earlier in the intro, you being from New Orleans, and I follow you on Twitter and seen some of your posts to our past um failed president in his role, and this is my words, not yours. This is my opinion, but the role that his administration played in Treme, and that's a very historic, to my understanding, reading, historic neighborhood from New Orleans. And I don't know if a lot of our listeners are familiar, but can you kind of educate us one about Treme and some of the struggles that's going on and some of the failures under the Trump administration trying to serve that community?
Yeah, sure. The Treme area is probably one of the oldest Black neighborhoods in the country. Um, I'm talking the turn of the century, early 1900s. They were free men of color that lived in Treme, and that were like doctors, optometrists, bricklayers, like people that laid bricks, built homes, built some of the structures that we have down in the French Quarter or what have you. These were professional Black people that lived in the Treme. This was a thriving neighborhood, and you don't really hear much about that.
Mm.
And today, the Treme, it's a beautiful. There's an area called Bayou Road, and it's got cobblestone. The roads are still brick. You can just see. I can imagine the 1800s horses going down these roads before there were cars and whatnot. And it's all Black businesses
Mm.
um, on this street of Bayou Road. And so today, Treme, it's largely gentrified. Actually, I was going to say it's a predominantly Black area, but today, 2021, it has definitely been gentrified because after Katrina, it was destroyed,
Hmm.
and of course, those Black neighborhoods were the last ones to come back. The French Quarter was fine. All those sort of Magazine Street, Uptown, those areas got fixed first. The Lower Ninth Ward still not fixed.
Wow.
Uh, the East came back. My parents, I grew up in the East. It took them some years, but they rebuilt their house and their neighborhood came back, but it took a while. And Treme is one of those neighborhoods where it came back, but it's not the same because
Mm.
when it got destroyed and all these houses are flooded out and the Black people are displaced, they either died, drowned in their
Mm.
attics, or they went to Houston or wherever and couldn't afford to come back and rebuild. And so what happened, you got, white people with money and means to come in and they buy up that property.
Right.
And so now you've got these gentrified neighborhoods in these historically African American thriving communities.
Wow. So with that, during that time, um, I read and I heard some different things. The Trump administration, that not being from there, but looking from the outside, was not very proactive in even following up, since Katrina, and helping out, and with the pandemic now really coming to the forefront in New Orleans, what did you see or what did you experience the assistance of Trump's administration, to those in the New Orleans area?
It was not existent. He did
Mm.
not. He was not worried about the pandemic. He was not concerned about Black people or people of color, Black and brown people. He was not worried that the pandemic was affecting us. It was a disproportionate amount of people that of color that were contracting it and dying. I never got the impression that the former president cared, was
Mm.
concerned. He never really talked about it. He even stopped giving COVID briefings. Him and
Wow.
Fauci would do these briefings, they stopped. So I never got that impression that they were really that concerned. And I think locally, I think we've got a great mayor, Latoya Cantrell. She's been doing a phenomenal job. She canceled Mardi Gras. She's like, look, we're gonna do this right, you guys. Her and our Governor Edwards, they've been really, I think, the leaders in Louisiana in fighting this pandemic. And I know people. I mean, I have close friends, two actresses that I lost.
Mm.
Carol Sutton, Sherry Marina, great actresses. You know, I taped Miss Carol. I would tape her for auditions, and I mean, I just, it just breaks my heart because I don't think that they dream that they would not be here at the end of the 2020.
Wow.
Wow.
I
Mm.
don't think they thought that, and so I just think we have to all protect ourselves and do what we have to do. Get vaccinated.
Mm.
Right.
Um, I think because if more people, if we nobody does it, then it's not gonna do anything. It
Right.
won't have an
Wow.
effect. The vaccine.
No, I agree. That is one of those things. I mean, I know, and we talk about it in some couple of our episodes. I know I joke about it. I know we all at some point are going to need it. I'm just of we look at Tuskegee and how the
Right.
history has been within our community.
We've been
I'm
traumatized.
Yeah, right, and I'm just being honest. I know I'm going to need it, and I'm probably going to take it at some point. But right now, I'm just not high on the numbers. 60% is not high enough for me, depending on which vaccine you take. The Johnson and Johnson one has like 50 some percent, and I don't even know why we even offering that if it's not even. I mean, that's just my mentality. And then we're looking at this transformation of this new COVID strain that's coming out. So will those vaccinations even work on the? It's just a lot for me to take
It,
in.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I put me on the back of the bus. I know Lisa hates when I say it, but put me on the back of the bus. I know we fought to get to the front, but let me
Right.
sit on the back and I'll wait and see how this turns out before I go because I know I need it. But I do agree we have to do what we can to not only protect ourselves but protect each other moving forward, and it does
And
have
try
to
to
happen.
get back to some sense of
Mhm.
normalcy, because with this pandemic and the way that the shutdowns is happening, it affected your business, your industry heavily, right?
Hmm.
So how have you been managing,
Totally.
with the pandemic and impacting your career, movie roles and things like that? How did that?
I mean, it stopped. I mean, it stopped. I remember I was on set in March when the first COVID case was discovered in Louisiana. I was on set working on Queen Sugar actually, and people's checking their phones like, oh, we got the first case in Louisiana, and I think it was like a Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, and I worked, and then by Friday it was all shut down,
Wow.
and and then that was it. I mean, we didn't come back until August. I think the
Mm.
story started coming back. I shot a movie, a feature film that is going to be coming out soon. I hope. I did that in August, and that's really it's been slow. It's been slow, but it's starting to pick up again. And because there's no movie shooting, my taping business kind of suffered because there's no movies, there's no audition. So it's been slow, but it's like I said, it's slowly coming back. I taped an audition this weekend. Friday, I had a tape for something, and I had a couple last week. I mean, it's definitely starting to pick up again.
Oh,
So are
that's
you
good.
taping them at home and then sending it, or is it a Zoom? Like, is the
Yeah, no, I do.
what?
They do Zoom. If it's a live audition, it's Zoom. I've only had a couple of live, because mostly it's. I mean, it just makes sense to just tape it. Um, just send it in. Do it. I have a taping studio with my backdrop and my lights, and and yep. So I do that. It's a home studio, but yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for the industry to kind of come back. I'm ready. I'm ready to get back.
Yeah,
Get
me
back on
too.
that.
I kind
Yeah.
of miss like going to the movies and having
Hmm.
Yes.
popcorn and sitting down and having that
And
experience with your family and friends. Like
Right.
you kind of miss the experience, you
I
know?
do. I don't know when I'm going to be ready to go, though. I don't know. I'm not excited about being in the crowds. Just
Me either.
when
Me
you think
either.
about people in the movies coughing and,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and, and I just think about droplets. Like my mom always says, droplets. It's like somebody coughs. It's like, so I don't know, when I'll go to a movie again, but it's definitely changed the way the whole distribution model of films, how they're distributed. I mean, now they're going straight to
HBO.
streaming
Right.
platform, HBO
Mhm.
Max, and limited run in theaters. But I would venture to say they're probably making more on the streaming platforms, the theater. Because I think Unhinged was released in theaters. I have a couple of friends that saw it on the big screen,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they're having to distribute them on these streaming platforms, so it's definitely affected our business.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Well,
could imagine.
I hope we get back to it. Like I said, at some point, with some type of safety or limited numbers, limited capacity, something.
I do too, because it took me. I feel like it took me. It was a lot to just get into this business, to just break into show business. Because there was a time, I worked in corporate America.
Hmm.
The idea, the notion of acting was just that, literally a notion, a dream
Wow.
in my head.
Wow.
Um, and it was my job that took me to Los Angeles with Disney, a corporate job, but it put me in the place where I needed to be to start the career. And then things happened and I came back home to New Orleans. But all that to say, I'm not letting it go. I'm not ready to let go of this dream, this profession, this career of being a storyteller.
Hmm.
'Cause that's ultimately what it is. I think it's storytelling.
Well,
You can write.
you do a great job because I also while I was listening, I did not realize you do voiceovers and things as well. Correct?
Yes, I do. I do
And
a lot
what
of things. But yeah, and I forget about that.
and I was sitting here while you were talking. I was like, how could I leave that out? So where have we heard, you, or what films or do you do commercials? I mean, where have we heard your voice?
I used to do there was a show, the Tom Joyner Morning Show. There used to be
Mm,
a soap opera
yep.
when I lived in LA. And I played a character, Madame Laveau.
Hmm.
Madame Laveau. Okay, baby. Oh, like she was she worked with earls and things
Hmm.
like that. And I don't know. So she was an older lady, Madame Laveau, but I don't know, this was years ago, but that was something I did. I did that voice. And then
That
I do a lot of
came right
regional.
on out.
Right. Yeah, I'm telling you,
Came on out.
because when she's leaving out, like I said, I saw in the post, like you just won an award too, didn't you? Do it for a voiceover. Um,
Yeah, for animation.
yes,
Oh my goodness, wait.
yes. Like, so how you leaving that out?
And in fact, there's going to be a screening of this tonight, but by the time this airs, I don't know the timing of it, but tonight, Sunday,
Uh-huh.
they're going to be doing at the Patois, which is like a French type film festival. They're going to be
Mhm.
screening this. It's called Afro Brothers Spacemen. Is based on a comic book.
Wow.
And he made this into a film. It's an animated feature, and I am the voice of Denara, one of the spacemen. And that was a lot of fun. You're not on set. Voiceover is different. You're just kind of in a little voice, a studio. Um, but it was still fun playing this girl who's like really nerdy, really smart, and she was a space traveler. So it was kind of fun. I'm trying to remember the voice I did, but Danara. I don't know.
That's okay. No, because
You
I'm sitting there
so
I'm like,
humble.
yeah,
You
isn't
so
she?
humble.
Isn't she?
So it's like you got these great things, and you're like, oh, you just
Right.
that's a
Because I
big
mean,
deal. We want
she's
to know.
done, and that's why I said like, there's so much like
I love
in
it.
this woman's repertoire and that she's done and she's doing. This is what made me fall in love even more with her. And these things need to be highlighted. And I'm like, I can't let you leave these things out because these things are amazing. So I just wanted to jump back into that bag real quick. And we talked about the pandemic, and I just have to ask, HBCU grad and your ties to the vice president and that whole thing. What has been your impression? It hasn't quite been 100 days. It's maybe been 35, 45. But what has been your impression so far of this administration and your sorrow? Am I saying that correct?
Sarah.
So, oh, there we go. Get me right. Yeah, but what has been your impression?
My impression of this administration is that they are treading gingerly. I think lightly to make the necessary changes that need to occur. I think they're moving in true Democrat fashion. When I say true Democrat fashion, I think Democrats historically, generally speaking, tend to be more politically correct, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like,
Cautious.
I would
Oh yeah.
say, if I would, we say, my dad used to say this, who was a great media personality himself, but he used to always say, if Democrats told the truth as effectively as Republicans lied,
Mm,
we would be, we could get some things done.
mm.
But I think Democrats, I think they, so and I think Biden and Harris, I'm really, it's a proud moment for me. I'm feel hopeful
Mm-hmm.
for this administration. But my impression is that but he's been gingerly treading a little lightly, but definitively,
Yep.
decisively.
Yep.
I think he's been very decisive. Making some immediate change. But I just think Biden's a great guy. He just seems like a regular guy, I don't know, like my grandpa or something.
Right.
I get a warm feeling when I look at Joe, and he's got 2 German shepherds. I have a German shepherd. I love the fact that he's got those dogs, and he just seems like he's just trying to make positive change for this country, because we have been bruised. We have been, our democracy, just our country has been, well, the last 4 years have really done a number on us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the positive thing is that it has brought to light a lot of things that I think we've just been closing our eyes to, or not really. It's there. Systemic racism. It's there. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, wow. I mean, I've lost friends. I've had relationships that have just, not only is the country divided, but I had friends, like people I've called my sister from another mister. No more.
No more.
Because of this previous administration, because of the division, and her choice to believe these conspiracy theories, and just we can't. It's just we can't. And it's amazing to me that a person that you could be have so much in common with, or you seem to be connected, and then
You really find out who that person is, unfortunately.
Yes, and
Mm-hmm.
it's eye opening.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, I will say that. I cannot lie. I was hurt. You're hurt, because I feel like you can't believe these things and follow this man without feeling a certain way about me.
Right. Because it becomes personal on a certain level. That feeling that you get is personal now, and you look at that person differently. I get it. I think we all on different levels probably have experience. I have similar experiences, and I don't know. I guess I'm a little. I just kind of put people in boxes now, where before you try to maybe mend it or fix it, but now I take it a little personal, because wow, I never really knew that about you, so now I put you in this place, and it's true, and it just makes it harder though for you to kind of come back to maybe what things were. But like I said, I think he revealed or pulled back the curtain on a lot of things for a lot of people, and those of us who tried to be positive, if you didn't really look into the light and see the light for what it is, then I think you're still delusional or lost.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to continue to have these same problems moving forward. So one other question and one other thing about you that in the research, Be Nice Productions, give us a little history. What's that all about, and how did it come about?
My little production company. I mean, originally I thought of Be Nice because of the B. My last name begins with a B, Beaulieu, and I thought Beaulieu. But then my sister and I, because my sister's in the business, and we talk, we talk a lot, and we always said, we were, because she started out as an assistant, so she would fetch coffee, and we talked about how there were some people who are not very nice in entertainment. A lot of people that are not, they're screamers, they're yellers. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember that show Entourage, but
Yes.
Ari Gold, like that was like the quintessential Hollywood agent, yelling, cursing, just and that's kind of. But we discovered, and we talked about this, that you can be nice and still be successful in this business. And you can be a nice person. You can be nice to people. You don't have to always intimidate, yell, belittle. um, to get to get ahead or whatnot. I mean, you can really be nice. And so, I don't know, and we came up with that. I mean, I was just like, what about, Be Nice Productions? And I was like, it would be I could just hear like, the office spaces and the secretaries answer the phone. Um, Good morning, be nice. It's like, it's directive too. It's like, it's an action, it's a call to action. Um, it's the name of the company, Be Nice Productions, the call to action. And I think when I did Black Girl Magic, it was a perfect example of that whole set. I mean, it was just so kumbaya. It was really wonderful. And I think a lot of that was probably because that's just how I am and how I run things. I mean, I surrounded myself with good people who wanted to do a good job, and everybody's so nice and humble. Like nobody's tripping on, themselves or, I mean, I had some award-winning camera people working on Black Girl Magic. And that's the thing, there are a lot of Black people who do award-winning work but do not get recognized or do not necessarily get awards. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of talent in our community, and I was very lucky to get. And a lot of people who worked on my film. They work in the industry. They're working on TV shows. That's what they were doing. Their day jobs. On shows, series, Queen Sugar, Claws, and they came to lend their time and their talent for that 48 hours for that weekend for me. And the result was just spectacular, but it was because of the people. So Be Nice, it just stemmed from a desire to see more nice people in the business, and a directive, like a call to action. Like, you know what, you can be nice and go places. They always say nice guys finish last. I don't know if I agree with that.
No, I don't think. Yeah.
Agree with that either, because it costs you nothing to be kind to someone, right?
Nope.
And then you attract what you give out. So because you're so humbled in your
Yes.
spirit, right, and you're
Yes.
so nice, so now you have all of these award-winning people who are also humbled and who are also talented and nice. So you attract what you put out, and I
Yes.
believe that. So I don't necessarily believe that nice people finish last.
Yeah, I
Not
don't
at
know.
all. Not at all. You had touched on something, and you had also when you just mentioned, all the people coming to work for you, and you know the award-winning work. But prior to us coming on, you had mentioned something to us about the Golden Globes. And what you just said there just kind of took me back to that. Can you kind of share, what we were talking about off here? Because I think it's really something important that people should hear and really understand, what's going on in your world as an artist, and what our people are experiencing when it comes to certain things in the industry.
Yeah, the Golden Globes are airing tonight, Sunday, and it's come out that the 87 members of the Hollywood Foreign Press, which is made up of foreign LA-based journalists, none of them are Black.
Hmm.
And I think Ava DuVernay expressed her displeasure, and Sterling K. Brown and a couple of other notable celebrities. They expressed their displeasure and disappointment that, and the Golden Globes have been around for a long time. I don't know what year this is, but they've been around for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
just like Black people. And it's just we went through this a few years back with the whole Oscars
The Oscars,
so
yeah.
white thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
People
Yeah.
kind of boycott, like there needed to be more. The reason why there were no people of color being nominated was because the people of color weren't voting.
Mm.
Right.
So, and I think with the Golden Globes, we have a few nominations. We got Regina King for director; she's nominated for One Night in Miami.
Mhm.
Viola Davis, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. The late Chadwick Boseman. So we're getting recognized. But this is the thing. That's just 3 people I mentioned.
Right.
There's so many others that are doing it, that are doing the doggone thing.
Right.
And
They're not getting recognized. And I think if there was more representation on the voting, then you would see more representation in the nominees.
Mhm.
So, I was talking to a friend about, like, wouldn't it be something if the Black people just completely boycotted? Like the actors, just didn't show up. like, well, maybe that might be the only way they would maybe get the message, hear it.
Right.
But I mean, I think they're
But
gonna
they
be there.
did that, right? Didn't they? Didn't, because I remember something with Jada Pickett in the Oscars and all of that, and they kind of like everybody boycotted the Oscars. Then they
Hmm.
said they was going to have more diversity the next year, and it
And
was,
they did.
and it was so, I guess, and then they reverted back the year after.
Hmm.
So I think it's just going to be like you have to keep. I don't know. I don't even know what to say at this point, because it's like, do we just do our own awards and our
That's
own
what we
thing,
That
do. We
right.
have,
and
you
just
know,
celebrate our own body of work, and
I think,
because
I
I
mean, I
mean,
think that's the thing. Yeah, we can't look to other people to fill us up. Um, we just can't. And I think, 'cause I think people of color. I'm just really, I'm a proud Black woman. Like you, Lisa. I look at you. I'm proud of you.
mhm,
Sister, with this platform, two mics
mhm,
up. This is outstanding work that you guys are doing, and I'm a proud Black woman because we've been through so much. It's stacked. Everything seems to be stacked against us,
Hmm.
but still we rise.
Hmm.
We have to be um, 10 times as good to be considered for the same thing,
Right.
for the same job. But because you're Black, you have to have your stuff together. We can't get away. We just can't get away with some of the same things that our counterparts can get away with.
Hmm.
And it's just, yeah, I don't know. I'm proud of us, and I would like to see more representation in those award shows. But it's okay because we don't have to get our validation from them, so to speak. Or
Correct.
right,
from, we can fill ourselves up, fill our own cup.
yes,
Well, I
exactly,
think you hit it on the head too. I think this is I bring it up only because I find it interesting. We were talking about it off air, but what's going on in just about every industry is a reflection of this country and the society that we live in. And I think one, we still have to draw attention to it, no matter how painful it is, no matter how we feel. But I do also agree with you, again, with this platform and what we're using to try to educate, empower, and impact our community positively. We have to at times stay, keep our foot on the gas. We have to uplift each other. We have to keep motivating each other. And a lot of times I get on our men because you're right. I love our sisters. I love our queens. Y'all have been at the head of the table. Y'all been the forefront of our community for, in my opinion, far too long. And we as men, we really have to figure out how to get our act together and put you all on our back and move this thing forward, because now it's really our responsibility, in my opinion. And this platform is allowing us though to see the power. Like I said, I have a wonderful co-host, a Black woman who is doing amazing things here locally, and she pushes me. I have an amazing wife who stays stays on top of me like no other. But we need that unity. We need that not only in our homes, we need that as extensions. Lisa is my extended family, my extended sister. You and what you're doing, that's why I refuse to let you not mention some of the things, because these things need to be heard. Because it's amazing. We are by design such fabulous people, and they try to diminish us each and every day. So I thank you for taking out the time today to share your creative works and your genuine self. You are an amazing woman. I love your energy, love your smile, love the work that you're doing. So before we go, please take some time. Let us know, let our listeners know where we can see you next, how we can find you, how we can follow you, whatever we can do to support Samantha Beaulieu. Please let everyone know.
All right, you guys, you can start by watching Queen Sugar fifth season. Stream. Oh, Filthy Rich on Fox, streaming now. Unhinged, a great movie that came out last summer, streaming now. All My Life, I think it's a Netflix, the one I mentioned, streaming now. Great, great tearjerker. I'm warning, it's a tearjerker. But you can follow me if you want, keep up. You want to see all the other credits I have, because I've been doing this for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to Samantha Beaulieu, www.samanthabeaulieu.com. And I'm on Instagram at Samantha Beaulieu, my name,
Mm-hmm.
Samantha Beaulieu, and Twitter, Samantha Beaulieu. Except on Twitter, they don't have the LIEU. They missed the U. It's LIE. I guess that my name has 16 letters, and that's too many. I need to talk to Twitter about that because, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only person of color that's got a name with more than 16 letters in it.
Right.
So, but yeah, Instagram and Twitter, and I just recently got on Clubhouse. You guys know about
Oh
Clubhouse?
yeah, we
I
that's
was just
brand new.
invited last night.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
It's,
on there. I don't know
you
what it's
should.
about.
I might give you a tour if I see you're on there. It's really it's interesting. It's interesting. It's an invite only
Mm-hmm.
platform, vote audio only. All kind of people will be on there. Like I was in a room with Miss Tina Lawson, Tiffany
Oh
Haddish, and
wow.
people give all kinds of there are all kind of rooms, a breakfast of champions, building wealth. You're gonna learn things like it's good networking and learning or whatnot. So I'll be at the club sometimes. I'll be at the
Okay,
club.
we if we play around, we come to the club. We're gonna come look for
Yeah,
you.
y'all look me up.
Yeah.
I might catch y'all in one of the rooms.
Right.
But I want to just say thank you guys. Thank you, Dame and Elisa. Thank you so much for this. It's amazing what you guys are doing, providing this platform for artists like myself, who I think, just people may not know, and nobody's really like checking for me per se. Like, but really, you guys were, and it means the world to me. It really does. And I appreciate you and what you're doing. Keep it up.
Well,
Well,
thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Eh,
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for being here. That's what we would like to say. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to bless us with your presence, and your energy is so good. It's so warm. So we are excited. And as you know, I'm excited, but that's a whole nother. Oh,
I appreciate you, sis. I appreciate you.
yeah.
that's
Well,
right. I'm here. But like you said, we rise, still we rise, and still we shine. And that's the
Yes.
part. We not
hmm
Yep.
only rise, we shine. So you
Can't
keep
stop our
shining.
shine.
no
Yes,
doubt.
right. You keep on
No doubt.
shining. We here to watch that light. So
And you know
Hold
what?
it.
I'm gonna leave y'all with one thing. I read this and I thought it was so profound. When you're a gallon-sized person, like when that means you're big, your heart,
mm-hmm,
you're gallon-sized. You cannot be filled by pint-sized individuals.
Mm,
mm-mm,
A
mm.
pint cannot fill up a gallon. And so I
mm-mm.
think, we're all, we are gallon-sized individuals. Our spirits, our history, what we have overcome, we are big. We are kings. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
look at our bloodlines. We are
yeah.
kings. We come from kings and queens and royalty. So, and I have to remind myself of that. So don't expect others who are walking this journey with us, you know, who may not, they're not on that spiritual level
Mm-hmm.
to fill you,
Yep.
to validate you, because it can't happen.
Sure
Can't
can't.
happen.
It sure can't.
Can't
We
happen.
do it ourselves in other ways, like with like this platform, and just keep on working, keep pushing, just stay in the course.
Yes,
Well
ma'am.
said. Well said, sis. I could not have said it any better. And before we go, I'd like to take a second to thank our patrons who support the show, our friends over at the PW Perspective, Riddick Entertainment, and CME Enterprise. We really thank you for rocking with Two Mics Up. You can follow Two Mics Up online at www.twomicsup.com. You can follow us on our social media platforms, IG, Facebook, and Twitter at Two Mics Up. And I want to close by thanking our newest sponsor, Next Level Keys.
Thank
Friends,
you.
our friends out there. If y'all need some credit help or credit repair, check out our friends at Next Level Keys. They can go ahead and get you all fixed up and ready to go. And like we always do at this time, stay safe, stay blessed. Mike's out.